What's up, guys? What day is it today? Thursday. Today we're gonna go on a little bike adventure. We're gonna go explore town on my bike, and we're gonna talk a little bit about following your dreams and why you need to get on that ASAP. So let's do it. So it's no secret that in the last 15-20 years, the world has changed completely. The model that I grew up with, which is what the previous generation had, of go to college, get a job, work your 9 to 5, earn your retirement, have your family, that model has changed, and you could attribute that to a lot of things. You can go into the argument all day about generations, and the older generation is always going to think that the new generation is lazy and entitled. Like, that's just the way it always is. And I will argue to my death that millennials are not lazy, that millennials are not entitled. I think there are always entitled and lazy people in every generation. There continue to be entitled and lazy people in the older generations. But the truth of the matter is that the world has changed, and the model in which we live our lives has changed. Our possibilities have changed. Tools like the internet have made different things possible, new things possible. And that is one of the biggest messages I think that I can give to somebody who might be in a situation where they think that they are stuck, where they think that they need to live their life according to somebody else's terms, and that's just not the way it should be. We should be able to live life on our own terms, live life in our model of the way we think that we want to live our life. And I get that there are societal rules and that there are expectations, and I think you should definitely keep that into consideration. But don't think that the 9 to 5 college degree situation is going to be for everyone, because it's not. It's not. I think one of the biggest issues, in my opinion, in the education system, especially in this country, is this perception that the same model, the same idea, the same structure is going to work for everybody. And that's just not the case. It's not the case. It doesn't work for me. I finished my degree, but I hated school. I was bad at school. I didn't like doing homework. I didn't like classrooms. I loved learning. I love learning, and I read a lot. I'm not lazy, but I hated school. Now, don't get me wrong, I see the value in school. I'm not saying school is useless. I think that it's more valuable to some, and I think it's less valuable to others. And for me, the model of sitting in a classroom and listening to someone lecture was never one that I enjoyed, was never one that worked very well for me. I fell asleep in class a lot. It was just not engaging, it was not interesting. I mean, I had a handful of classes that were interesting and engaging, but you know, that's largely due to the style of the teacher. I'm not naive. I think there are certainly people who get a lot of value out of those models, and I think that that's good. I mean, I'm not saying school is stupid. What I am saying is that for some people school is useful, and for other people school is, I think, counterproductive. So to bring this back around to following your dream, I think the biggest thing that you need to do in order to follow whatever dream you have is to be self-aware and to know what it is that you're after. I think self-awareness is something that is massively underrated and not taught enough in schools. As kids, we're taught more to follow a certain blueprint than we are to realize what our blueprint is. So that's, I think, where the biggest problem is with the way schools operate and the way the whole model is it's not built around having you learn what your strengths and your passions and your interests are. It's more about getting a certain grade on a certain standardized test and fitting in the model of the curriculum that is imposed on everyone. And so that's I think the biggest issue. So self-awareness is by far the most important thing, I think, if you want to follow your dream. Now to talk about possibilities. I think we live in an age now where the possibility of doing something that you love, doing something that truly fulfills you and gives you satisfaction for life is more possible than ever. You no longer have to deal with a job you hate in order to make just enough of a living or in order to even be successful. I think nowadays you can do something you love and be successful enough to live a good and happy life. I think the problem is that people put so much importance and so much weight on having stuff and having fancy things that they think they need a high-paying job in order to get those things, but it's amazing how much more satisfying it is to wake up every day and do something that you love and live a slightly more meager lifestyle. You don't need things, you need satisfaction with your life. You need to wake up every day and love what you do. And that goes back to self-awareness. You need to figure out what it is that you want to do and what it is that is going to make you feel that way. And I know that there's a lot of people on the internet, a lot of motivational people that say this all the time. Things, you know, people like Gary Vaynerchuk that might say like you can make $60,000 a year with a blog about Smurfs. And I think that's true to an extent. I think you can definitely make more money than you'd think doing something that you absolutely love. And that's where I just wish more people would put weight on that and actually like do the work. But it comes down to two things. Well, there are certainly more than two things, but I think there are two main things that you need to consider if you're thinking about going after something like your own business or just going after something and creating a living out of something you're passionate about. The first one is how bad do you really, really want it? Because there's a lot of people who kind of romanticize the idea of having your own business and they romanticize the idea of doing what they love and everything. But at the end of the day, they don't quite want to put the work in to actually make it happen, and they would rather work their job 9 to 5 that they might not enjoy as much, and then work on what they want to do, you know, on the weekends, or if traveling or camping is a passion of yours and you like doing your job Monday through Friday, and then on Fridays you like to go spend the weekend camping, and that's cool with you, then that's fine. None of my spiel today has anything to do with what you should do. It has to do with what you want to do. If camping is absolutely your favorite thing in the world and you think that you could create a blog reviewing gear and showing people new places, whether that's through video or pictures or writing about, you know, writing reviews of campsites, etc., then I think you should do that. But if you don't want to do that, if you'd rather just go camping and enjoy it and not put in all that extra work to make it into a business or make it into a blog, something that could turn into a business, then don't do that. There's nothing that's telling you to do it. But if you do want to do it, and if that's something that sounds incredible to you and it's something you would love to do it, then you need to reach that point where it's like you're ready to go for it and you're ready to start working at it. That doesn't mean you need to quit your job. All it means is you need to start. Figure out a name for your blog, open up a website, start writing, start taking pictures, start doing video, go camping, and start doing stuff like that, all around what you love to do. And the second thing that I would say is very important for this whole topic is understanding that it takes a lot of work, and not work in the sense that most people are used to. So for instance, for me, a lot of people would see what I do on a daily basis and think that I'm not working, but the fact is that I am. It's just not within their scope of what work means. I spend a lot of time on Instagram and on Facebook posting for my different clients and stuff. I spend a lot of time making videos, and I spend a lot of time editing photos and videos, and I take trips, and all of that is working towards building something. For me, it's building both my business, my social media management business, and also building my own personal brand through my photography, through my videos, and all that stuff. That is all work. Granted, not all of it makes me money, but at the end of the day, it's all work, and it takes a lot of it. I spend a lot of time every day doing stuff. Again, the old model is that what I'm doing, spending time on my phone, making videos, people don't think that that's work. It's a lot of work. Again, this all goes back to what I said before about the world changing. If you look at 200 years ago, somebody's idea of what work constituted is completely different than what it was 50 years ago. And what it was 50 years ago is still very similar to what we see now, but there are new types of work. There are new formats that work is taking. And so you got to be open to changing your perspective on what it means to work. And that's what I've done, and that's what I've been able to do. And I honestly am the happiest I've ever been. I feel so excited every day to get up and go and do what I do, and I just want that for everyone. And if that means that you get up every day and you're super excited about going to your 9 to 5 and, you know, playing around on the weekends, then I'm super psyched for you. If that means that you need to stop doing that and build your own business, then I want you to try. Just try. Build it on the side. See if you can make something happen, because your life will be better. You will be happier. And when you're happier, people around you are happier, and just everything is better. At the end of the day, I just want people to be happy, and I want people to do what makes them happy, what makes them excited to get up every day and do stuff I don't like it when people I know and people that are close to me are just miserable all the time. And you know what's even worse is when people who are miserable complain about being miserable and that don't do anything about it. Like, I realize that that could be a little insensitive, but like, if you're not happy about something in your life, do something to change it. Don't wait for something to just come along. Like, be active in making it better, because that's the only way. I'm a firm believer in you make your own destiny and you make your own life and you make your own happiness. You have to do it yourself. And so if you take anything away from this video, take the message that you are capable of making yourself the happiest person you know. And that's gonna come in the form of doing something that you're passionate about, of doing something that you love. And when you have that passion for something, when you have that excitement for whatever you do, it's contagious, it spreads, people feel it, and your environment improves. That's my message today, is first start with self-awareness. Start with figuring out what it is that makes you happy, what it is that makes you excited to get out of bed every morning. Then decide whether or not it means enough to you to work hard at it, and then work hard, like work really hard. When you get home from your job, get to work, build your business, build your blog, build whatever it is that you want to build, work at it. And I just hope the best for you guys, man. I really do.